It was like 12 of us, you know what I'm saying? All comics that are working now, right? And making good money and doing dope shit, but we were all broke or close to it. And he came over, he was like, Mike Yard, he's like, what? Y'all think y'all the only group of motherfuckers that sat up here talking about how you gonna take over the world? And that's something that I think about.
Applause break on that one.
Oh, 100%. That's something that I think about every now and again.
Today, we talk about...
So what you want to get into, bro?
Let's see. I wanted to ask you how the Comedy Cellar is treating you.
It's treating me like I'm getting spots every week. You know what I'm saying? She's hosting me a lot, so like the money is good. I can't complain about that. It's like the funny thing about working there now is that for the longest time that was the only club that I wasn't passed at. Okay, right. And
yeah, because you've been passed at some of the better known clubs here since you were a fucking teenager.
Yeah, I've been passed at literally every single club in the city. Before I got passed there, it used to be I was passed at every single club in the city except for the Comedy Cellar. And that was, let me see, this is 2019. So for 2017, from 2016 to about this year, right? Okay. So for the last 3 years, I've been passed as a paid act everywhere else except for the Comedy Cellar. And it would be one of those things where it's like, so many of my friends had been passed there and were passed there for years, you know? So it was like, oh man, when I would go eat at Olive Tree, a lot of people would come up to me and be like, yo, when you going on stage? And it's like, oh, well,
not non-comedians.
No, comedians. And sometimes the non-comedians that I would see, like friends of mine or the occasional fan of mine, they would be going to the show downstairs, but they eat first, right? Gotcha. And I'd be over there with my friends, we all talking shop and shit. And they're like, hey, Nico, so are you on tonight? It's like, oh, nah, I'm not, but I appreciate you thinking so. So stuff like that would get annoying. But here's the beauty of it, right? Frank Sinatra's I Did It My Way would be the way I encapsulate how I got passed at the Comedy Cellar. You know what I'm saying? And more so than that is like what really like, because I'm very, very sentimental. So one of the things that makes me smile very hard is when like the waitresses and all that, because we used to all go to the Comedy Cellar broke. Like not as much the Comedy Cellar as much as the Olive Tree Cafe above the Comedy
Just Cellar. To watch, you mean?
No, not just to watch, just to like eat. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Mike Yard, I remember some years ago, he saw us up there. He was like, it was a group of us. It was me, Derek Gaines, Monroe Martin, Chloe Hilliard. Who else? Damn, I shouldn't name anybody else. I don't want to miss anybody. But it was like 12 of us. You know what I'm saying? All comics that are working now, right? And making good money and doing dope shit, but we were all broke or close to it. And he came over, he was like, Mike Yard, he's like, what? Y'all think y'all the only group of motherfuckers that sat up here talking about how you gonna take over the world? And that's something that I think about.
Applause break on that one.
Oh, 100%. That's something that I think about every now and again. But the thing that makes me smile is that for the first like 2-3 weeks that I was starting to work there, all of the staff that had seen me coming in there just to like eat and stuff like that was very, very, very congratulatory.
Proud of you, right?
Yeah. So that felt really good.
Yeah, that must feel good, man.
Because they were like,
because they're on your team. They're like you.
Right. Well, you if you're good to people, they're good to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And they're like, you know, we would always see you, and you know, you never made a lot of noise. You know what I'm saying? You were always like cool to yourself. So to see that you here now is fucking great. So it's stuff like that I appreciate. And then being able to like when David Tell says your name, like that's very nice.
That's pretty dope, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty dope. I remember running into him at the Comedy Cellar, what was this, like maybe a couple months back. And I was just happy that he was willing to shake my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't owe me shit. But I'm like, hey bro.
One of the nicest people I've ever met, and this is way before I even knew about the Comedy Cellar. I was at Stand Up New York, and he had came in. I had to be 17 at the time. Of course, he won't remember this, but he came in and he shook everybody's hand. You know what I'm saying? He shook my hand. He shook the Podium Girl's hand. He shook everybody's hand. I thought that was the coolest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? Because again, this is David Tell. He
goes a long way, man.
He doesn't have to speak to anybody.
Right.
But he went out of his way. He said hello, and then he went up. He killed, and then he went on about his day.
You know shit. Yeah.
So it's stuff like that you appreciate, being able to listen to like just the conversations and what some people think about comedy and stuff like that, perspectives and all that. It's at the back table, and like you have Esty, who for all intents and purposes is, what's the word I'm looking for? That's the she's the booker there, right? And to be around that energy, like she makes me a little more nervous than my heroes could be sitting there, and she would probably make me more nervous.
Why is that?
Reason why is because she passed them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
she's the gatekeeper.
She's the booker there. But people like her, people like Richie Tinkin, and I never met Mitzi Shore, but people like that.
I've heard a lot of legendary stories. Yeah.
Right. So those people gave opportunities to the people that inspired me to want to do this.
Right.
So being around that person, or at least for me, the first couple of weeks, I was trying not to freak out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, holy shit, and I was raised a certain way with people that are of a certain age. You speak to them like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and all that type of stuff. So I try to temper that sometimes because you don't want...
Why, though?
Not temper it in the way of, like, not saying it. You know what I mean? But some people don't want you to call them ma'am.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Is she one of those types?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I still say it, but she's not said that.
I mean, I've never met her, but I would imagine I would treat her the same way just because of my respect for her from everything that you obviously know about her. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even anywhere close to being passed at the comedy show, but just like as a person and that reputation, you'd be like, yo, you know, you got to walk a certain way here.
And the fact that, again, of a certain age, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that just goes to how I was raised. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's been good. It's been really good. So.
It's dope, man. So is this like a weekly thing you're doing? Is this monthly? Is this only when they have dropouts? Like, how's it work? I don't even know, you know?
No, you send your availability, and you send your availability corresponding to her system. So we send it on a certain day, and then a certain day the next week, she'll get back to you with your spots for that week. And if your spots still correspond with the schedule that you sent, with the schedule that you sent, then you confirm the dates that she gave you, and then you go from there. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Same old same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just learning as I go, man. Recently got a talent development deal at Broadway Comedy Club, which I don't want to get too into, but
trash.
Yeah.
Trash. I'll get into it for you.
Let's hit him with the.
It is trash, bro. Like I'm not lying.
Did you ever do that? Did you ever do the Broadway Comedy Club circuit thing?
Yeah, I did Broadway Comedy Club when it had look, man, there's a reason why nobody you look up to goes back there.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? We all came up there, but it's a necessary evil. Broadway is one of those spaces that you need to come up in because it gets some dirt under your fingernails. But when I say you need to come up in it, I don't mean that you should have to intern there. No. I don't think you should have to work there. No. I think if you get to a point where you're doing spots and you're a young comic and you're not getting paid, because they fuck over the money horrendously over there. But it's one of those spaces that you need to go sharpen your knife, right? Because it's all about for when it's time to execute. So you sharpen your blade, you sharpen your blade, you sharpen your blade, and then when you find shows elsewhere to showcase, and it's time to show how sharp your blade is, your blade being your material, you cut hard. In a room like Broadway, which could be one of the, if they just, I don't know, man. Because this is why it's hard. It's like, you know how when your dad will tell you, like, and when I was coming up, it was like this, like that, and it builds character, right? I don't want to shit on it and turn people away from the parts of it that are good. What I'm more saying is that I would hate to see people get stuck there.
Right.
You know, because we all came through Broadway at some point.
When was the last time you were there?
Oh, shit, I was probably there. I don't work there like that anymore. Like, I'll do independent shows there because there was one night when I got hit up to perform there, right? To MC a show. Now, mind you, I hate MCing. I always have. But
I think it's tough, man. MCing is tough.
It's not tough. It's just one of those things where it's like you're responsible for so much because you're the person that has to set the table, which I always found to be the hardest thing to do before dinner.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't mind cleaning. I don't mind playing cleanup. I don't mind like just eating at the table. But setting the table is always so much to consider because it's like, especially with the type of material I do, depending on my mood, I can really, like if I only wanted to talk about like quote unquote deep shit, you don't really want to do that up top because now you might, if it doesn't go well, you might dig a hole.
Yep.
So, and that's not your job. Your job, you're the master of ceremony. So you're supposed to it's supposed to be ceremonious. They're supposed to know that something positive is about to take place.
Right.
So with stuff like that is a little annoying. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off topic. So now, Broadway Comedy Club, I did a show at the Bay Street Theater, right? And I was good. I had made all the money I needed to make for the weekend. And I got hit up and they were like, hey man, would you mind hosting for us tomorrow, primetime show. Now, they paid less than rate, right? Because I've always been very good on knowing what the money is, because this is the only way I've ever made my living.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I know they don't pay rate, but I'll make $50 because I talked to the people that make the rate there, and I knew that that's what they paid the MC. But again, you never give up your information. You let them fuck up first. So now I go and I host the show. Now it's time to get paid. So why when they bring me money, and I mean murdered that shit, you know what I'm saying? Kill, because it's one of the best rooms. Broadway Comedy Club's downstairs room is one of the best rooms in the city.
Dude, I was getting laughs I haven't heard since like...
It's one of the best rooms in the city. Now, if only they could fucking treat people better. But
why do you think that is? Why don't they? Not to cut you off, but as a seasoned comic, what the fuck is the problem here?
Well, again, bro, you got to remember, comics are loyal like dogs. You know what I'm saying? We're loyal like dogs, and we're very childlike in the fact that all we want to do is have our jokes and perform them in front of people, right? A lot of us don't think about the monetary value of that stuff, right? And a lot of us feel like, especially with the way the young comedians are raised, that you're being presumptuous to even ask for any type of payment, much less quote unquote proper payment, you know, because the first thing they could say is, well, who are you? Like, what are you bringing to this table that makes you deserve anything? Now, mind you, on the weekends, they do pay some of their acts, right? And they probably pay some of their acts correctly. However, I know for a fact you didn't pay me correctly. So I host the show, and I know I'm supposed to get like 50 for it, right? But I'm not saying nothing to nobody. It's time to get paid. And they hand me $25. And I'll tell
damn,
you,
son.
I'll tell you exactly when that was.
Yeah, on that note, man, like you know how they have those the industry showcase things, and they're like, yo, you got to bring 7 people if you want to perform, and each of them has to spend not only $20, but you know, a 2-drink minimum. And their poster says 25, but they say, yo, drop the names on our RSVP line, and we'll drop it to 20. Now, all my friends show up, all listed, and I have the texts confirmed, okay, yeah, sounds good. And they all got charged 25 instead of 20. And then they're coming at me like, yo, I don't appreciate how your friends are coming at us. I was like, dude, you stiffed them.
Yeah.
Like, why? For $5? What? You had... How many people in there that night that all paid at least 20, if not the 2-drink minimum? So we're talking like, what's that?
Who was the producer?
I don't remember. I really don't.
You see, I'm naming names and shit now.
Which is fine. It's just like, here's the other thing, man. I walk in, they said 5:30 in the email. I show up at 5:25. The guy's already talking. He's almost done talking, giving all the rules, and you know, this is the number you call to get your feedback, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I walk up to him after. I'm like, hey, man, sorry, I guess we started earlier. How about that info you were sharing at the beginning that I missed? He goes, oh, talk to the other comics. They'll fill you in.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Hey, man, some people are just shitty people. You know what I mean? So now here's how the rest of this situation played out. So now I go, and she hands me $25. And I'm livid, and I don't get this mad, but when you play with my money, I feel like you're playing with my intelligence.
I mean, that's like the hardcore line.
So I'm sitting there, but I've been at Broadway for years.
So they know you.
You know what I'm saying? I've been there for years. Broadway was the first spot I did my first professional show on, right? It was a produced show by Joanna Briley called Metro Comics in like 2008.
Okay.
Right? So this is 2016. So there's 8 years. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna flip the table and fucking damage myself and damage my reputation. I work too hard for my reputation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not finna do that. So what I did was I said, all right, bro, take a deep breath, go upstairs. One of my friends is a bar back there. So I'm upstairs and I'm talking again. And I know from conversations I've had with other people that they pay more than that. So I hit up the person that hit me up, and I was like, I should have asked this earlier, but I hosted the 9 p.m. show at Broadway last night, Saturday, and was paid $25. My question is that the rate for all hosts at Broadway Comedy Club on a Saturday? Because I'd always heard it was more. Now, keep in mind, I'm not telling them that I know how much more, because I want to see what they do with this situation.
Right.
And I go, Because I had always heard it was more. I asked because I was really shocked that MCing the Saturday show at Broadway Comedy Club only paid $25, which is less than hosting the Saturday show at Greenwich, which is a much smaller club in Greenwich Village. I said, I hope to hear from you, and please know that I ask this with all due respect because I don't complain about work that I take. I would just like to know for sure, as I felt really bad after I received my payment. As I mentioned, I was always under the impression that Saturday night MCs were paid more than that for the 9 p.m. show. Best, Nico White. So the homie gets back to me with, I would double check to see what happened and get back to you a little later. You handled it correctly getting back to me. I go, okay, thanks, thank you very much. He goes, there was a mistake. You were paid like a Friday 11 p.m. MC spot. Here's the thing, right? First of all, the person that paid me has been working at this club for years, longer than I've ever been working comedy, period, right? So I doubt that they just made that kind of mistake, right? But furthermore, then...
And is this a cash payment? Okay. That's probably a factor too, I think.
Saturday, 9 p.m. is more. It's not significantly more, but it is more. How would you like the difference? You want to pick it up at the club, or we can give it to you in your next spot or mail it to you? I said, I'll pick it up. I go to that shit. Now, mind you, I know I'm supposed to get $25 more. They gave me $10 more. I haven't put an avail in since.
What the fuck?
And I never dropped that I knew, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. It was just one of those things where it's like, you know what? I'm past this now, and I leave it to the kids.
That's the thing, man. Like, do they not understand they have competition? Like,
I mean, they don't have to care because
why not? Oh, probably because they fill out. So it's like,
well, they get the people in there, and again, the hardest thing to do is to get a group of comedians to stand for something outright.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Is there such a thing as a comedian union?
I would like to start one, but it's impossible because the first thing, look, I have a friend that works that club, right? And I tell him, I'm like, hey man, don't, I said, you being as talented as you are, you shouldn't work there if they're not going to pay you correctly, right? And he was like, the first thing I get is like, well, everybody can't be Nico White. And it's like, it ain't about being me, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But it is about, you going to keep, there was a time when they were paying MCs on that late show $10. $10. And that show,
and you'd be happy to take it too,
right? They were happy to take it, but that's because again, comedians are very childlike. You know what I'm saying? All we want to do is be able to perform our jokes in front of audiences. Right.
That's what I'm saying. Why do you think there's so many free shows? Is because
and it's predatory to take advantage of that.
Yeah, of course,
it's predatory. But if you ain't fighting for it, then you ain't fighting for it.
So let me play devil's advocate for a second. So they're offering you, Nico White, 25.
Okay.
Instead of the usual 10. They come to a guy like me. Granted, I may not be as good as you, but the fuck do they care, right? They'll offer me to do it for free, but I get to do it. There's going to be thousands of comics like me who are willing to do it for free, right?
That's my point.
Right.
But here's the thing. The thing is that they need us. We don't necessarily need them. And what I mean by that is we all love the comedy clubs. I've been able to pay my bills off of comedy clubs the last fucking 12 years of my life. You know what I'm saying? So when I say that they need us more than we need them, if every comedian stopped showing up to their spots for a week, everybody's going down.
Oh, for sure.
Nobody's paying rent.
Yeah.
Nobody. If every comedian said, nope, we're not showing up until the spot pay goes up, that shit would change in a heartbeat. But you know why that'll never happen? Because of what you just said. 1,000 people, a literal 1,000 people would show up for that spot. So how do you make that? How do you make change, or do you change it? Because, like I said, I never opened up about the story on Facebook or blew up Broadway Comedy Club or the people involved. I never did that. Right. What I did was I said, you know what?
Breaking news right here, though.
I don't give a fuck. It's just one of those things where it's like, because it's not even. I'm not even shitting on them because they're honest about how they are. You know what I'm saying?
I found that out now.
They're honest about how they are. They don't lie about.
And I'm still going back. They offered me a talent development deal. You can do one spot on a Sunday. I'm like, I'll take it, because what else am I going to do? Go back to these open mics? Like, that's my only alternative.
I mean, do what feels right. But again, do what feels right.
Well, what's my options?
Well,
you know what I mean?
You have plenty of options. You can go start your own show. You can go.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask you about that. What is your thoughts on? I know you don't have like the hugest social media presence as far as like YouTube, but like obviously you're active on Instagram. You got your own podcast, so you're obviously in the space of media and self promotion. What's keeping you from being like, you know what? I'm throwing my own show. I'm renting out a space.
I've done shows plenty of times, but because like every show I've ever done, especially here in New York, it'd be me headlining something,
right?
And I've sold out every time. You know what I mean? So I've done those. As far as starting my own like weekly show, a monthly show, I just don't want to. Do you know how many people I would have to pay back? You know what I'm saying? Like just spot wise. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I've done thousands of shows and have been put up by thousands of comedians.
Right.
I do not want the pressure of having to book that many people. And also, with the way I would do it is that I would only do it to work out my hour. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be like a 4 or 5 act show.
So do you think it would have been more beneficial for you to start such a thing earlier in your career?
No, I think it'd be more beneficial for me to just do like those little pop-up shows like that now and later. You know what I'm saying? Starting up with like, I would love to find a self-sustaining room that has its own built-in audience,
right?
And bring one comic and then myself for an hour.
Okay.
Have a comic open up a show, then me do an hour just to test that.
Yeah.
I need to make sure, again, sharpening your blade and make sure it's sharpened. So when the opportunity comes, you're ready. I want to make sure that is as hilarious and as prolific and as like low in fat as I can get it.